Well, yeah, that's the challenge now in BC. I remember I've gone back through some of my old presentations I did back in the late 1990s, and I don't know what I was doing back then, but I'm looking at the some graphs I produced for a conference or something, and I'm showing BC's log costs are the highest in North America, and I'm kind of going, I thought that was a phenomenon in the last 10 years, but no, I'm going back 25 years, and there was periods in time where the costs of timber were out of whack, too high relative to the other regions of the world, meaning the margins in BC were lower than other regions in North America. So for investors back then, and I remember having a number of Americans were coming up back then because we still had timber, although the beetle was a bit of a scare to them. But they were looking tire kicking around, and they started looking at all the different things and how BC was structured. Its stumpage system, its unions, its environmental. Back then, environmentalist movements were alive and well, and they just left as fast as they could. They had no real interest. A couple did, but they might regret that.
Some of
But
them did regret it very much. You know,
exactly
that
because it
failed
was
that whole company actually. So yeah,
and just over time though it's become unfortunately BC's become so controlled by forest policies, so many forest policies, and I give any government credit for change, but when you try to change things around a declining timber supply already because of the mountain pine beetle and forest fires, and you want to overlay policy after policy, the old growth, the undrip, the landscape planning, the log export restrictions, on and on it goes. So
in
many
Blueberry,
policies.
where treaties were signed, even that is now being challenged. I'm not saying that's right, wrong, or I'm not a lawyer, but so it means it takes away reasonable prediction of access to fiber.